Hello, everybody. Let me see. It says that we're live, so I'm assuming we're live. Hello, everyone. This is a second look. Thank you for joining us on this fabulous Tuesday in the Milky Way. And my co-host, Miss Trina, how are you doing?
I'm wonderful, Wayne. It's so good to be here with you. And I love Julie Ann. Yay! This will be
And
fun.
our
Yeah.
special guest, our resident alchemist, Miss Julie Ann Payne. How are you, my dear?
Good, thank you, Wayne. And hello, everybody. And thank you all for your gifts and talents and enjoy always. Wanya, welcome to my country. I'm sitting outside on my land today, which is the Gubby Gubby tribe, which we have the birthing pools up the hill here, which is all jasper. So that's supreme nurturer. So this land has nurtured me and it's wonderful. I love where I live.
What a
And
blessing.
it's 5 a.m. Your time there, isn't it?
Yes, it's a bit
Yeah.
cloudy today, but I'm still outside. We're heading for a temperature of about whatever you guys in Fahrenheit, but it's about 37 degrees Celsius, very humid. So I will be perspiring.
Well, I'll be usually I'm saying this to Trina because where right now there is a cold front moving through. So, tomorrow our high is supposed to be 20 degrees. So I guess that would be a negative
Yeah.
5 Celsius.
Wow.
So there you go.
Well, they
So
keep saying on the news that there's a heat wave, and I say, well, keep telling everybody because they'll buy into that story and they'll create the heat wave. So I said to my husband, when's the snow coming?
see, I like that. That's an alchemist, folk. That is an alchemist.
Absolutely.
It's so wonderful to have you here, Jules. I get to see you on the other channels, Robert's The Milky Way Soul Tribe and the Drama 7. And
Oh,
it's just so good to have you here. And we're
thank you.
honored.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for your gifts and talents, my dear.
Well, I'm going to walk as we're talking. I am going to share my place with how I get my knowledge. So
I
I'm
love
out
that.
here underneath my canopy of passion fruit, and supposedly passion fruit. When you look at the word passion fruit, it's cosmic consciousness, and I have that vine wrapped around my veranda. It's here. I've got them quite a bit around. So if you use your intention and work with Mother Nature, because you are in nature, if you look at the word, she will actually give you everything you require. I walk around barefoot on my place. Hardly put a shoe unless I get the message, put some shoes on, because I'm probably going to stand on a prickle or a rock. So usually if I get that message, I put them on. But other than that, I just walk barefoot around my place. So I'm going to share that with everybody, and that's truly connecting with the earth. That this is where all of my poetry comes from, is the surround that I'm in. I'm in it. I am it.
Yeah.
It would appear from everything that I have been reading here of late that the greatest crime to humanity is that when they came in and spoke the dark word over us, where we lost our connection to the goddess, the one true goddess that we all can see, we all can touch, and that is Gaia, known as, whether you want to call her Sophia, you want to call her Mother Earth. She is the first and the most truest goddess that we know of.
Yes.
Well, a lot of the way that Julie Ann, they would see how I spell words, and I often go trees you are, because we do have limbs, we get knots, it's our system, our C stem, roots. And then you look at the word herb, P and herby, we're in that as well. And even the word weed has us in it. So if you look at from my perspective, and remember there's no right or wrong, good or bad, it's just an angle of the degree you look at it, and that magical word you use, gyroscope. If you just keep looking around and looking at it from a different angle, and I'm just giving you an angle from my perspective, and I'll just turn around and there's my mountain.
Pretty.
and that's called Mount Stratagos, and that's the Greek word for strategy. And who's the leader in this? Who's the strategist when you're doing anything? So that mountain is a very powerful mountain, very powerful mountain.
Wow.
And when people come here for to be receiving conduit energy, because I don't class myself as a healer, I'm just the conduit to bring it through. They sit here and they virtually feel like they're already healed, if you want to use that word, because this wraps around them. This is and the trees. So you're using everything that Mother Nature's given you, and we are part of that. We are one. We're it. We're all of that. It's stored in everything. Every molecule. We're that. We're that.
You know, it's interesting as I look back on my theology days. By the way, favor to everyone. Thank you, moderators. We got a full house here. Thank all of you so much. We just speak favor over you. And I love the word, may pleasantness be in abundance in your reality. So thank you all. Thank you all the people as well. One of the things I know, because I came out of the faith movement in Christianity, and it was well ingrained in my thinking that you said healing and people would begin to see themselves. When a person begins to see themselves healed, they're going to get healed.
That's right. Mind over matter.
Yeah. Or matter over mind. I don't know.
Yeah, whichever way you want to look.
Whichever way it works, you know, it's kind of back and forth.
I spell mind with a MYND because it's mine. And then I spell matter as matter I all, because we are all of that. You know, we're in all of it, because it tells you that at the end of the word. You know, anything that's got IAL, it's telling you you're all of it.
I remember back in the day, when I was a child, particularly, and this has a point, well, we had the televisions where they were the vacuum tube televisions. And at night when the stations went off, you could actually see the neutrinos that are passing through. And it always reminds me that we're both in the physical and in the spiritual.
Yeah, we're all of it. You know, I used to like watching the test patterns. I'd just sit there and watch that pattern come up before the TV, like the show would start. I'd be going, oh my goodness, because that when the story how when Mum had me, the doctor actually said, Alan, you're going to have to get Margaret a television so she rests to have this child, because Mum had miscarried the first one. Stillborn. Michael was stillborn, and in the Catholic religion back then, you had to name the child because he had the cord wrapped around him, and as she delivered him, it tied in a knot. So he was stillborn, and then she miscarried. And so the doctor said, okay, Alan, you have to buy Margaret a television. So it was a black and white one with all those test tubes. Well, I call them, the tubes in the back. And you used to be able to get them fixed. You used to be able to go and a technician could fix them. And that's the same as the wireless, the radio transmitter, the wireless. It was made, it was called crystal set. And here we are. We're a transmitter and a receiver. We are the crystal set.
We have become either the worst nightmare or, I don't know, an evolution. That's it's very I'm not sure
from my writings, it's going to be it's beautiful, it's grand, it's from all of what I've written. And when I look at my poetry, and there's so many of them, it's going to be beautiful. I just know it in my heart where we're going. It's beautiful.
Oh yeah, I would agree with you. It's I mean, there's the purple planet. Yeah. So I have a question, because we're going to be talking about the magic box. Jules, you have insight on that. Marcia has done sent a number of emails with some good information as well. And the question I have for the two of you, and maybe everyone in the chat, so where were you, and can you expand on where you were in the process of awakening in 2012?
Trina can go first.
2012 was massive for me. I was finishing up my divorce, transitioning into a new living situation, starting a new career because of the crash of 2008, 2009, completely destroyed real estate, and all that was going on was foreclosures and, bank repos. It was just all horrible. So, yeah, massive transition. That was kind of like the white snake song. Here I go again on my own. Time to find yourself again. It is a powerful time to just say, here I go again. So yeah, it was a huge time for me, major time of transition, and basically walking away from what I was in so I could really focus and, learn how to be a better me, I think, and a
What
better me for my kids. So I did that.
Okay, so a lot of what I would call transition, a lot
Massive.
of turmoil.
Yes.
Where were you in your spiritual journey? Was it as tumultuous as the rest of
It was.
2012?
I learned about sovereignty. I learned about the monetary system because I was going through a house loss foreclosure. And that's how I found out about the whole money system. That's when I had the serpent dream. I mean, it was like
Wow.
huge, huge,
Wow.
huge. It was hitting me from every single angle. And yeah, it was huge.
We'll expand more on that. Jules, what about yourself?
Well, I think on the particular day, like around that 2000, my husband and I were picking up rocks.
Okay. I can say I was not doing that in 2012. Were you, Trina?
Nope.
No,
Nope.
no, we make, because our land is just full of this jasper and shirt and all metavolcanic and stuff. And I remember we were down in the paddock and they were all talking about it in 2000, and like this was coming. And I'm going, oh yeah, still here. Well, I'm doing,
Right.
carry water and, pick up rocks. But most of mine happened 2008, and then 2010 when my dad passed. That's when I became more of me, because I didn't feel like I had to live up to anybody else's expectations. Not that Dad didn't put it on. He was a wizard. He was a wonderful man. My father, he was a gardener, and that's why I get a lot of my inspiration from him. He used to plant by the moon, but I don't plant by that moon anymore. And certainly I do it with my intention. Everything's planted with my intention, and if it doesn't grow, well, I'll try again. But usually I can get things to grow. I just talking about the gardeners, that's where I'm coming from, because that was my first poem. I just throw seeds out because Mother Nature doesn't plant in rows, but most men like everything in a row because they've got to mow around it. So I go, well, Mother Nature does not plant in rows. So I just throw seeds everywhere. As you can see over here, I've got pumpkins and lettuce, and there's Vinca rosa, and that's our avocado tree up there, and pawpaws and bananas.
Yeah, you got a bananas tree back there, right? It's like a couple of them.
There's a good heaps. There's more than that. So 2012 though, well, it come and went. Mine was, it's just forever evolving, and you just go with the flow, and nothing too tremendous. It was really 2008 was my catalytic rap.
It's interesting, 2008. Yeah. For me, in 2012, I was, very much still in the corporate world. I was, I was not the same person I am today. And I can say that my full coming out of the cocoon, the metamorphosis did start taking place in about 2008. Actually, it was about 2005. In 2012, I became aware of many of the things happening in the heavens, the firmament. And from there, it led to where we are here today.
Well, I was because of the work I'd learnt, we were talking about molecular structure and the molecules and cellular memory. So I was learning a lot of that energy work and putting it in place and questioning even the person who was teaching us, because that was one of the things questioned, and I would go, well, why does it have to be done like this? Why does it have to take an hour or something? I can just do it in a matter of minutes. I can just put my hands on someone and they can have the energy shift instantly if they're willing to receive. So I still was questioning a lot of things that are still being taught to me or told to me now. I sat with a girlfriend yesterday, and she's a chemistry and biology teacher. So you can imagine the world coming from where she thinks
An academic.
Oh, look, I would go to hug her when the first of this thing, and I couldn't even go near her. And yesterday, don't come near me. Anyway, her mother has passed since. And so I said, I have to give you a hug because you require it. And she just soaked it up. You could just feel it. And so we sat yesterday, and I always sit and listen to her, because she's Croatian and they're very, Anyway, I said to her at the end, because I gave her a different point of view, and I was watching the head. It was just in a state because she was listening, because she doesn't often listen to what I have to say because I don't usually speak of my way. Anyway, I have done energy work on her, and I know she felt it because she had a sore hip, and I said, well, come on, I'll put you on the table. Anyway, I said to her, I told her about my catalytic thing. She said, what made you change your mind? And I said, someone gave me a different view than the one that I'd been sitting in for some time. And I went, oh my goodness. And it just was part of the catalyst of just kept changing the view so that you didn't sit in the one that I was sitting in. And it was awful. Like it was awful. As everyone goes through the dark night of the soul, it took me 6 months to come out of that because Dad had a stroke and Mum had an ulcerated toe. And then Bryce was born dead. And that was the catalyst because he received the energy from me when he was lying in bed at the hospital, and he was out of hospital in 3 weeks instead of 3 months. And the doctors came to me and said, have I got a medical background? As if
Mother Nature wise.
that's it,
Yes.
and that's all. And he come out here the first night he come home. He was out here, and he's still special needs, but he's given me so much clarity because he's there actually, my girlfriend Karen, who she can see people's energy. He sat at the table with us a few weeks ago, and he just moved his neck like this, and she said, "Oh my God, Christ has just shifted that issue in my neck." Now
Yes.
we can't have this conversation like I'm having with you now, but
No.
he can go, and you ask him to go and put something in the bin or go and get this he can do all that. And I've had many clarity moments when I've asked a question and I've got a yes or a no in that moment.
Oh, Julie Ann, I just saw you have him help you move energy on people. I think he might be, wow, powerful.
He
Wow.
is powerful because I was doubting this work because I said, oh, it's a cult, And I would speak to the guy who created it. I go, oh yeah, whatever, And then when Bryce come along, he allowed me, because he was a little soul that had no, he wasn't gonna whatever. Like people go, oh, don't touch me. I go, oh, I wouldn't bother. But he confirmed that this stuff works. This touch, this
Yes.
touch.
This is such an interesting synchronicity because this morning I was spending time meditating, and the touch, it's it's vitally important. And
Yes,
my growing up, I love and human touch was always associated with pain. And it took me decades to get to where I would let someone actually embrace me, touch me.
Right.
And now I give thanks to the fact that my wife and I, we can still touch.
yes,
Beautiful.
it
Yeah.
is. The physical touch is,
Mhm.
that embracing, because you can just feel it. I go heart to heart. Usually, you go in and I go, oh, let's go heart to heart. You know,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so important. Um, I'll share the story with everyone here because, and we'll still get on with this.
yeah,
The I was telling both Julie and Trina right before we went live, my wife woke up this morning with a very stiff neck and very painful for her to move. And because of the responsibility of what she has to do, she had to go in. Well, her nurse as well had a very stiff back. And prior to coming on here, and I got it on the text, so this is all time date stamp. Um, I wrote to her and I said, "How are you doing?" And she says, "It still, basically sucks." And Dawn, she's all stoved up as well. So I'm in the kitchen. I am brewing my tea, and I just stopped and I faced the south and I pictured my wife and the other person, and began to just form a circle around them. And the next thing I knew, it was like a gyroscope. It was a circle this way and a circle that way. And I spoke to the south, and I said, as I went to the south, I said, no curse. I went to the east, no word spoken. I went to the north, no ill will intent shall. I went to the west, will be allowed to exist around my wife and the other nurse. And I spoke specifically to her neck and then to the woman's back. And as Julie was talking as we were here, I got a text from my wife, and she says, very odd. She said, my neck has loosened up. And I said, well, what about Dawn? And I haven't been able to see that, but and it was just uncanny the time. So there you go, folks.
It's
It
amazing.
works.
Yes, it
intention.
does.
That's
Yes.
all. Mine, 'cause that used to be one of my business names, was Nature's Intentions, and that came to me when I was actually in my general store and takeaway business. I can still remember. I can see the vision of where that word came to me. I was looking out my front door of the shop and Nature's Intentions, and I'm going, what the heck's that? And that's what I've put a little name on my front gate, Nature's Intentions, because
Yeah.
we all come from nature. Nature is the nurturer, and we've been locked up, and well, not now, but people go to cities and you don't walk on the grass because it's all a concrete jungle, and that's the connection with Mother Gaia, Tara, Earth, whatever you want to call it, because if you look at the word Earth, you just take the H across to the front and that's your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know this sounds a little strange, but I've started, um, you know, in times when I would usually just give meditation to some, I've begin, Earth is a goddess in every
Yeah.
description, every form of every religion, of every theology or ideology. And so I have taken a practice now of literally just praying a prayer to her and saying, Goddess Earth, I don't know what and as I told her, I said, I don't know how to come with the proper respect, but I said, I do believe you know my mind. And yeah.
And
Yeah.
leading into what we're going to talk about, like um my connection with the land, of the course, is Aboriginal, our country, the Gubbi Gubbi tribe. My sister married an Aboriginal man, And the other day when I'd sent out one of my little messages to a few people, he had sent me one and he said, "Oh, when did you get that?" I said, "Oh, I'm getting a lot." He said, "Well, the courts are actually being turned on." He said that in his text. The courts are actually being turned on now.
Wow.
So that's in the ground.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
I can only speak from my land perspective and what I get from all the writings I get. And like a year ago, I got the message that our chakras were going and that our crystalline grid, which is our fascia, is being activated. So if you look at the fascia across the earth, you know, all the ley lines, the song lines, they're all being activated. And I got that, what's today? Well, for me, it's Wednesday. So on Monday, I was just laying there and I got the image and I've drawn it in my diary, is at every crossing point where the fascia may cross on you, but if on the earth where the ley lines cross, the light's gone on. The light's gone on.
Wow.
So that's actually inside of us, which is actually what's activating Earth. If everyone can stay in a space of joy on this day, this is the most important thing. No matter what's going on, dance and sing and have fun, because I'm getting goosebumps, because that's what's going to activate this beauty, is the joy that you have coming from your heart. And your
Yes.
heart chakra is green. I'm wearing green today.
I see that.
Yes.
And I'm surrounded by my greenness when I'm looking at green. You know, this is like my place, everybody. It's just green. We've had rain, of course, you know. So the thing is to walk across your grass without your shoes on and connect with Mother Earth, because she loves that feeling of you're caressing her. Lay with your skin on the ground. Now, this is one. Look at this. This is a butterfly piece. The butterfly piece. See that? The funny thing, it's called the clitora.
Oh boy.
I can
Right.
relate.
So it opens up like a butterfly. You can't see it. I'll put it in my mouth. There it is.
Oh, yes.
Pretty.
So
Wow.
it's purple. So that'll activate the purple side of you. This is tansy. See, that's yellow. That
Yes.
activates. So the whole of my place is full of herbs and fruit and healing properties. But your body just needs to walk on the grass.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all you
I'm
need to
gonna
do, and just show
let you be my surrogate, Jules,
yeah.
because
Like,
there's snow on the ground in my backyard, and I can tell you.
Right.
I'm doing it for you now.
Yes,
So
and
look,
I'm
I've got my.
I'm digging it.
See the lettuce here?
Oh, yes, 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 yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's let you see. Let you see.
Yes.
It's full of water.
Yes.
This is what I do of a morning. I do a herb pick. I walk around my yard and I go, I'll have that today.
Yep.
Before I eat breakfast. So this is rocket. You know what rocket is? You have rocket? It's like a mustard.
Oh,
I can
And then
say
I've
we
got
do not.
no.
so all my citrus trees are here.
That's quite
Passion.
beautiful.
Oh, it is glorious. And that's what
So,
you just connect with Mother Earth. That's all you have to do, and be in the joyous mode on this day, on every day, but on the
yes.
21st, you have to be in a state of joy. No matter what's going on in your world, go to that point that makes your heart sing. Go to whatever
Yes.
that is.
Absolutely.
Even if just make it that the fairy floss is hitting the fan, right?
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it when the other thing.
Yep.
And what's that? That's sweet, isn't it? So just go to
want to
the
say
sweet spot.
the sweet spot. I like that.
It's
No,
like
just go to
fake
that
it till
sweet
you
spot.
make it. Don't
Yeah,
let the reality be real. You got to literally fight against it, because that's what we're doing. We're literally shifting an age, and what's going to show up is going to be what we do. So what you're saying is so powerful and potent and true. We have to stay focused and seeing our vision and not letting the reality dictate our world anymore.
No, because it is just a mock. It's a fake. It is as well. Like having this conversation with my girlfriend yesterday, I said, I've created my reality out there. And she, because I said, you know that I'm always, she's always saying, you're always positive, you're always positive. And I went back and said that to her yesterday because I was actually voicing something to her that was a bit hard for her to comprehend. And I said, I usually sit and listen to everybody. I know I chat a lot, but I do listen. I'm an observer and I watch the way things work. And then when I go to speak, when it's my turn to speak, they don't want to hear what I have to say. So I just sit and not say anything, but I'm finding my voice because I
Good.
know what I know. And I thank you, Wayne, so very dearly for allowing me to come on your show last July. And it was the 20th of July, 2 days before my Be Earth Day. Even though I think birthdays are every day, I'm born on Earth, so it's my Be Earth Day. But I truly thank you for hearing me. I give you so much gratitude for that.
Well, thank you. I'm just driving the bus.
It's
And then
always
Brian,
fun.
and Brian then gave me, because you pair were talking about my poetry, and I thought,
Yeah.
oh well, I may as well do my own YouTube and put my poetry out.
I love it.
So then the crazy Julie Ann comes out, and it's in that mode. It just comes. I'll be
Yeah.
driving, or a word comes, and I'm going, okay, this is it. I'll go to my costumes and put some crazy thing on, and it just downloads, because I have done several takes, and the first one's usually the best because you're in that moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. You
You
know,
know,
Jules, you should have. I'm glad you got your channel, and I need to put it in the description box because people need a number one subscribe, and because what you have to say is, well, it opens a perspective into the reality of which we're immersed into.
And,
will
and
I
it's a
undo the
bucket of
spell?
joy. Julie Ann's a bucket of joy. You ever got a bad day? You just get on her channel. She'll fix you right up.
Don't bring that attitude in here.
She does. It's such a joy. It's joy. You can't help but feel good.
I
You
love
are a
that.
gift, Julianne. A gift. A gift.
Thank you.
See, I guess it's Cheesesteak 22's birthday. Happy
Happy birthday.
birthday. I want to say hi to Gaz. Kaza lives in your part of the world, Julianne. And wow, this
And
so
I'd like to say hello to Kaz, because she sent me a song. She's done a music video for me, which is called Alchemist Love. I just seen it before we come to air. So thank you, Kaz. Thank you all for your gifts and
thank you.
talents. That's the thing, is you have to find what makes your heart sing and do what you love. And I love undoing the spell.
Yeah.
I love it because we need more of that. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. There's just so many people that I haven't seen before. Kaz is in here. We love you, dear.
I guess.
Very, very talented. We got some great
Yeah.
talented.
There's everybody has a gift. Even
Yeah.
if you think only cooking, that's a gift, because you can feed the hordes. You know, any
Cooking is
single thing.
alchemy.
Yeah,
I
it
know.
is.
No, that's one of my gifts. That's what I do. That's what I did for my business, is I did food in our shop. And my husband, of course, he is as well. But
My
that's
wife
my
and I make
background.
love together when we're cooking. I mean, I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, it's you're mixing your hands on and you got things going on. I mean, it can get real sensual. I mean, it really is. It's great alchemy.
Actually,
Absolutely.
I've walked out in our countryside at the moment, the gum trees, which in biology they need a community to stand because they're shallow rooted. So they need the support of the whole tribe as such and so similar to us as trees. But at the moment, the bark's coming off them and they just expose their bare skin. And I just get turned on looking at the bare tree. It's just
Yep.
so sensual. Oh,
Yep.
I just go, oh my God,
Yep.
those simple little things. I can just smell a rose and I'm turned on because
Yeah.
I don't use chemicals in my home because I used to do Enyo, which was a microfiber technology thing. But I don't use shampoo. I haven't used shampoo on my hair, even when it was long. For about 12 or 13 years, I don't use deodorant. I don't use any chemicals in my home. My husband might, but that's when he does it when I'm not around. So I can't see. But I don't wash up with anything. I clean her at the sink, but I don't actually use soap on my body. I just smell all the essences from my trees and they are a turn on.
I love that. Yeah.
Because that's what Mother Nature gave you, those natural things. So the whatever you call it, the actual corporations as such that are crumbling at the moment. And that's the whole plan, is we have to start from afresh and connect with your community, unity community, and everyone will have their gift to contribute to the community. But every essence of every flower is what is for you to ingest, and then you get that information. Like my eccentric poem came from the honeysuckle because it likes to just take off and roam everywhere. So
It
how more
does.
eccentric is that?
Listen, as a kid, I pulled that vine because we moved into a place, and for literally 2 months, I mean, honeysuckle, I can, as you're talking about it, I can still smell it, but I always loved taking the flowers. And of course, we would always sip on the sap. Yeah.
Yep, that's right.
There's
That's
another smell of almond trees.
Oh,
Uh,
that.
yeah.
my aunt and uncle had a whole orchard of them, and wow, I mean, I can
Well,
smell
at
it
the
from there.
moment, my figs are bloom. I'm getting fruit on my figs, and they actually, the flower is actually inside the fig. They don't have a flower. The flower is inside the fig, and you can still smell that aroma of that essence that they give off when I'm down watering them. You go, oh, that's the fig. And then you just go around and you go, oh, that's that, like there's the night jasmine. And that is
Oh
the
yeah.
most exquisite, like when
Oh,
it's
that's
flowering at
one of my
night.
most favorites. I
Oh,
love jasmine. It's so funny because you're talking about all the flowers. This is what they base Bach remedies
they
on.
do.
It's
That's right.
natural flower essences. Yeah, it's
They
powerful medicine.
Yeah.
You're absolutely
so
right.
well, I did that with the roses when it's rained, and I've done a poem, or even the dew gets down in there, and you can taste each rose does have a different actual flavor. And when I'm walking along my road and it's getting hot, or well, it's been, I'll go up to the dew because we get lots of heavy dew, which
Mhm.
that for me actually is a storer of information as it falls on everything. That's the water that holds us all together. That
Yep.
stores the information. So if you're able to drink that dew, you're actually getting everything that's been everywhere all the time. So if you are eating or drinking from your own land, you're actually receiving the information, not something that's come thousands of kilometers away, because you have no connection to that.
Yep. Yep.
So true.
Yeah.
And there's a book that when I was reading many years ago, it was a whole series. It was called Anastasia, and it was written by Vladimir Merz or something. He was a Russian, and she was in the Taiga. This is Anastasia, and I was doing stuff here, just like she was showing you how to live in your land. And like she talks about thistle or nettles, a stinging nettle or something. So you take the seed, you put it in your mouth, then you drink nettle tea, and then you water that with your pee. And that carries what you have going on inside. It knows what you need from that, by your DNA on your tongue, to then wee in on it. So
Oh.
Mother Nature has given us everything that we require. There's nothing separated from us. It is us, as I've said, he and her be. and we're the weed as well. And how can you not love a rose, even though it's got a thorny, pricky little thing? I got one the other day. I was walking through the rose garden and it decided to prick me. God, thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
I just thanked it because I obviously needed a prick or two.
You know, as you were talking, Jules, here in America, and I'm sure it's everywhere. If most of the people that live in the cities, I would dare say in the smaller towns, there's so many Americans that are on prescriptions. I don't know if the earth would really want their pee. I mean, well, yeah, you know, because many of them, the plants would become suddenly, you know, lethargic. They would, because you've got, you know, diabetes, you've got, you know, high blood pressure. I mean, yeah, and just go right down estrogen and
Yeah.
yeah.
See this little one here? This is the Vinca rosa. You see that pink flower?
Oh, it's beautiful.
That's called, well, I don't know. It's Vinca rosa. It's pop-ups or it's penny wheels or something. That's good for diabetes.
See, nature has
it's
all
all
this.
in the. That's why Mother Nature created it for us.
Yep.
We are part of it. We were formed out of that, knowing all of that information is stored for us. I don't know how much more I can emphasize the fact that what you grow, what you seed. I'm a seed planter, you know, and the seeds that we sow is what you reap. You know, you get back, you know. So I've known of something about to happen for a long, like from my writing and things. And
So
I
yeah, let's
knew
talk about this. The magical box. You sent me an email and I found it so fascinating. Because obviously, Jules, you're very in tune to the frequency of Earth. And Earth, I think she sees both the future and the past. I mean, I don't think that for her in their life forms, time is not the same as we perceive it.
that's right. That's right. So it's past, present, and future all at the same time.
Yes. Yes.
It's just the pivotal thing is to just find joy. That's all you got to do. That's all I can say really about it, and that's what Mother Earth wants you to feel joyful. And the more joy you have, the vibration shifts. It's the highest vibration with love. You know, you love everything when you're in a state of joy. So you have to find what makes your heart sing, and that's do some dancing, do some singing, whether you sing well or not, you know, just it's a tune, it's in harmony, it's chanting if you want to, but for me, it's in the moment, it's organic, it's flowing sort of thing. You know, I don't particularly follow anything on, I can change my mind, you're allowed to. No one's telling you you have to do it. It's just your intention from your heart, your intention. So there's the way you do things, Wayne, is different to the way Trina does it, the way I do it. But if we're all on the same trajectory of having a beautiful, beautiful place to live in, when your vibration's in this space of joy, you're creating it. So I've created, if you want to think of it as heaven, I've created it here because I've created it, because that's what I envisaged, is knowing that I share my seeds, I share my plants. I don't ask for anything because I'm receiving. I get the joy out of seeing someone else's joy. Like when I do an undoing the spell, they go, oh my God, I've never seen it like that before. Well,
I had someone write me and said that they really didn't know what joy was.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You know, there are, and it made me stop and think too. I said, well, how do you describe joy? And I told her it's joy is for me singing a song. I sing to my wife all the time. She said that's why she fell in love with me. She says, you are the only man who ever sang to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's whatever it's whatever makes you buzz.
Yeah.
If you want to look at it like that, it's what lights you up inside. That's the easiest way to say it then, because you're the sun, you know, you're the beam of light, BM. BM. You're the bridge to get to where you want to be. It's you. There's
I
no
love it.
separation. It's you. BM.
I love this. Teresa says, think agape. And that's a beautiful word for love. I mean,
Yes.
agape love is basically unconditional love,
Yes.
Yes.
you know.
And that's really this pivotal moment. This, if they're opening this magic box, think it that you're the jewel. You're the magic box.
So
Collectively, everybody is inside of that because we're not separate from anything. So you're the trees you are, treasure.
I love that. Jules, tell the audience about the magic box, what the story behind it, how it factors
Well,
into today.
well, only from reading the same information, Cilantro, who sent it out to me, who used to live here in this town, she's in New Zealand now. She sent the email out to talk about this magic box that's supposedly being opened at Uluru at 9:04. It is Australian time, so that's in Northern Territory. So they will be probably half an hour ahead of me. So it'll be 8:04. But the thing is, at that moment, supposedly many lifetimes ago, there was a race that had this magic box for this time to be opened. That's all I know from the information I've received. So it's pivotal. It is pivotal for every person. I know the 21st in Australia is the date. So it's the 20th for you guys. Okay. So we're that fraction of in front. So you got to look at it as being the whatever time it is for you guys. That's the moment to be in that space of joy collectively.
Okay.
That's where we need a pivotal amount, supposedly. But I like to not buy into those stories, you know. From my point of view, from the writings I've done since 2008 was my first poem. It starts in a garden. Just connect with Mother Gaia, Tara, Earth, whatever you want to call her, grandmother, whatever, and be in that blissful state that however you can get to it, because we're the change. We're it. And supposedly this box is being opened. Now Karen might know a bit more. Karen, Queen of Quartz, she has a great thing. She's been handing out crystals, and Trina can talk about that more now.
Okay. It's so funny when you're describing the magic box, and I'm seeing that the four corners of the earth are all activated. And I'm seeing the sine wave go through the planet, and it makes two circles like the infinity. And I'm seeing all the energy centers of our earth that were shut down bursting forth and opening.
Yep.
Activating the organic crystalline grid that I think is Earth's new 5-dimensional frequencies.
Line, because they dug up so much mineral out of the ground, they actually distracted the song lines, the frequency lines. When we're digging up, that actually interferes with it. The interesting thing that you said, that sine wave, which is Ava, that's where Eve comes from, is Ava, which is the wave. The perineum is actually an infinity symbol.
Yes.
And peri means around. And when you go and look at because I went and looked this up yesterday in my dictionary, it actually means spirit, the neum on the end.
Oh, wow.
It actually means spirit. It actually says to empty out. So when you're giving birth, you are emptying out as such through the perineum, because that
Boy, you
stretches.
are. And you're emptying out a new spiritual essence of life.
That's right.
Embodied. Wow.
So they've changed the letters. Like we got PERI, that goes around, and then the NEUM, because I've gone and looked at it, and the way it comes from the P. The P was taken out of They muck. This is the spell. You've got to go. I've looked deeper into it. Things are back the front and inside out, and they take letters out just to confuse. You know, writing was done right to left. Then they come along and read it left to right. So they've mucked it up to start with. But if you go to the word level, Eve's in the center of it. You have two legs you stand upon, which is you, the foundation. You're level.
Yep.
You're level.
So another, go ahead, hon.
No matter which way you look at it, that word, it's level. Balanced.
It is. Polydor, it goes back and forth. Marsha, when she sent me this email, so in the Ethiopian calendar, this is 2012. The new year began September 11th, 2020. So,
Yep.
you know, it brings into a whole lot of, you know, what they were saying back in 2012, the Mayan calendar, you know, the long count, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe we had it all wrong, because this may, in fact, I don't know. I get the sense that we're really going to go through the threshold. And once we've passed the threshold, that is when the old, which was the time of, was it Pisces? Is that correct?
Yep. Pisces.
Yep.
Pisces.
Pisces has to die.
Yep.
And as I wrote y'all earlier in an email, it's you can't have birth unless you've had death, and you can't have a new age unless the old age has died.
And that's what's crumbling, and that old age is just wanting to hang on the power structure of religion and whatever it is that's going on, and corporations. So the old system, everything has to crumble. So you have to, for new to come. So if you see a business shutting down, don't buy into the fear of that. That's starting to show you that new things are coming. So if the certain businesses that have been going around for the corporations that have been controlling us, they have to fail so that the new can come about. And that's what this is all about on the levels that we're in. There's so many levels. When you look at whatever they're doing to you, it's got another polarity to that as well. You look at it from this point of view and then flip it and look at it from the other angle. We went inside because we have to clear all of the shadowy selves in us. But shadows is not, I love shadows because it keeps me cool under my tree.
I was going to say, you can't have color unless you have shadows. Shadows are your tints, your hues, your, you know, the saturations. Yeah,
We call hue man. Hue,
exactly.
the color of man.
Shape.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm all over that.
Absolutely. You know,
So-
Peter Pan too, he was always trying to catch his shadow.
Yeah. You know, I know a lot of people who do shadow boxing. They don't even realize that they're fighting themselves.
Yep. Yep.
Did y'all get that?
Yeah, I did. Yes, I did. That's true too.
I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Boop, boop. Anyway,
There's so much in all of those nursery rhymes and all of those. There's so much information when you look at all of that, all of them. Because you know Hanna-Barbera or whatever his name that made the actual
oh yeah.
cartoons. You only got to look at his name. He's obviously Jewish and knows a lot of information.
Right.
I can tell you a story about that, Jules. Back in my video days, Hanna-Barbera was actually a client of ours.
Oh,
And so we did all their packaging and all their video duplication. And it's quite interesting when you watch. The writers of those were definitely magicians. That's all. There were wizards, and they were putting stuff in that we had no idea.
Yes.
exactly. Look at Dick Tracy. You know, you're looking at your watch. Woo! Beam me up, Scotty.
And we got it. And did you hear that they have made the breakthrough of transparent aluminum? Now, what
Oh.
makes that so important, go to Star Trek 4 when they're here on Earth, and you will see Scotty talking to an engineer about how to chemically rearrange to make what? transparent aluminum were there.
Yeah. Well, I've entered the prize because I'm here.
See, I love this. So getting back to the magic box, it's real interesting because I've been looking at this, and you look at the celestial heavens. They're well, we have this super planetary alignment with Jupiter and Saturn. And if I'm right, they both move into Aquarius. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes, I think I'm correct.
I don't do too much astrology stuff.
Yeah, I am not an astrologer, but
Just
I have
work with
read.
It's
just work with
the Saturn Jupiter conjunction with Pluto in the mix. This is a rare alignment, and pretty much funky stuff happens through this time.
It seems,
Yeah. So
Trina, I'm reading a lot of academic professors that are writing on this, and whatever it's going on, whatever this vibe that's being transmuted through our collective consciousness,
Mhm.
they're talking about it. I'm participating in two discussion groups on what's happening to Gaia, and then more importantly, what's happening to humans.
Yeah, I think this is making everybody nervous because I think we're really getting ready to come into something huge. And I think it's gonna be beautiful. It's
yeah,
gonna, like you said, it's a tower moment for us. We're in a transitional time, and it's gonna be the tower. Things
Yeah.
are gonna fall down and build back up.
I am so excited. The neurons going on in my body is just like
Ting, ting. That's how they
excited
are with.
because that's what I saw many, many years ago. I saw an image that was given to me and I went, oh, that's it. And
I
then I've
saw the world's split apart and like go into like a mitosis where one cell becomes two. And that's what I saw. And I really wonder if that's what we're getting ready to look at, because it seems like everything's in an alignment for all the opposites to be blending. So like everything, Saturn and Jupiter, for example, one's limitation, one is expansion. Those are opposites. Everything is opposites in the north node and the south node, opposites, and they're going to be in alignment. We have an eclipse with the moon and the sun and the earth in between. That's an alignment. There's so many powerful things that are happening right now. And it's all happening in the sign of Ophiuchus, which is the healer. It's the sign of the caduceus. And it's got two serpents. It's got Quetzalcoatl, the masculine, and then it's also got the divine mother, which is the rainbow serpent, the divine feminine. So you've got the two serpent energies, which if you can marry those, you have all potential.
Well, as we're speaking about this, so I sense that there is the same. I don't know if the word upheaval is right, but there is something happening in the spiritual realm as well.
Yes.
Nothing happens in the physical plane that's not representative, if not already set in the spirit realm.
Yeah.
So I just pulled this up because December is interesting. We have on the 14th the new moon. On that 14th, we also have a total solar eclipse. The 21st is the December solstice. The 24th, the rare conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn. And then we end out going in the Eucerides meteor shower. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening
Meteor
here.
shower too.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually we were in between two of them. The
That's
Geminids just
it's
emptied.
crazy.
Yeah.
This is powerful energy, guys. I don't know that I've ever seen anything like this before.
look
And
at the
then
word
we end the full moon.
you look at
Yes.
the video, we got me in there and Tor, which is the Taurus field, or we're the or. Me, I'm the or. Right.
Yeah.
And if you look at the comet, it's come.
Yeah, I mean,
Come to the crossing point. A T is just the crossing point. They go like that. So when you undo the spell, we're in it all. We're it. It's what's going on inside of here and what you're reflecting out there. So if you're whatever you're going on inside of here, because you're the you and I verse, you're the Yoni verse, you're it. There's nothing outside of you. You are the total thing of all of it. And if you think it's shit, well, there you go.
Yeah, and see, I see right now that this is
Exactly.
like the potential to turn into the Magi, literally to be the second coming of the Christ energy. This is like probably your opportunity to literally activate those powers within your spine right now. I
They've been
literally
showing
see
us
this
the
potential.
cartoons. You know, we've got these superpowers. Well, we
Yeah.
have. I am the Magi nation. I Magi born.
Yeah.
We're it.
Mhm.
And manipulation will work. It's a science word. Man, I pull at ions. Work with the ions. The negative ions are what's in the forest. That's what gives you that feeling. So there's the word negative, but you think it's not negative. A car can't start without the engine going on and off and on and off. So it's
Yes.
not right or wrong. It just is.
Yeah.
You're the battery.
Yeah.
So you have to come into balance. And that's what's happening, is the balance is happening in the body, the male and female, so that you can use all your brain.
Yes.
Your
The sun
neurons are
is rising.
firing.
It's beautiful, Jules.
It
As
is.
I,
It is.
yeah,
Look, there
it's
it
just
is there.
beautiful. I can see that. Yeah. And because, you know, here's what I keep on thinking, Jules, you're my future and I am your past.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're everything.
Yeah. But literally, you are my future and I
Oh,
am
yeah,
literally your past.
because I'm in Oz and I'm in the Emerald City.
Exactly. Because, you know, yeah, I can tell you it's Tuesday here, 1:00 in the afternoon. It's Wednesday morning.
Yep. The
Wow. I
sun's,
mean,
you
yeah.
can see the sun rising with
I
Jules.
love this. And you know what, y'all, ladies? I got to see 2 sunrises today.
Oh, right on. Yeah.
Is that far? You did too?
Yeah.
Is this far out or what?
Yeah.
Oh, come
Time
on,
travel.
folks. You know, there's 2 ways of looking at what's happening here. I do believe we have reached the precipice, and as we cross the threshold, because I had a prophet once tell me that with every great event, that there is a precursor, what they call a pre-time before the event. This is the time of when things are moving in the unseen realm of transition, powers, energies being set for the big event. And when the event happens, it then presses itself down to the physical. My point to this is you can look at this as either something scary or you can look at this as something really exciting.
Exciting.
It's like Jules says, put on your
It's
happy feet.
exciting.
Exciting. Yeah. I choose exciting. You know, and
Yeah,
it's like when you really come to the
look
truth
at
that
the
you,
mango.
Oh, look at that.
oh yeah, that's beautiful.
I'm jealous. I'm envious. I'm salivating.
I know, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm going,
mangoes.
and the mangoes.
Pick
Oh.
mangoes.
Yeah.
Well, Jules, you are a delight, my friend. I have to say, I envy you in so many ways because you are living what many of us strive to get to.
Yes. Yes. She's living in the Garden of Eden.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, look at that.
She's back in the garden.
That is a dragon fruit. That's dragon fruit. So you can't be afraid of a dragon. Dragon
No.
fruit.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're up only up for the night. They'll be all wilted by the afternoon. See the bees and stuff, ants. So they're dragon fruit. And the fruit, this is what they'll turn to a bright pink. So this is the start of it here.
Now, is
And
that like
that'll
a
be
cactus
inside
plant?
the most, yeah.
It looked like
And
it
the
had some
fruit is the
spines.
most luscious. Yeah, it's called the dragon fruit, and inside is the most magenta pink. It is just divine, the pink that's inside of it, and you can't explain the taste. It's just exquisite.
Wow.
They had some here.
Then,
It's a different taste.
then I'll show. So here's the pomegranate. See the pomegranate?
Yep, there she be.
So you see that? That's a crown. and
You
inside
know
it
what
is a
pomegranates
membrane.
mean, Jules? In
Yeah.
ancient Hebrew, pomegranates were signs of prosperity. They were, as you know, I don't know how many people know this, but in the Holy of Holies, it was the pomegranates that actually showcased the door made out of solid gold before you went in. So, yeah.
Well, see, if you turn, that's the crown on the top of it, and the membrane's inside of it full of jewels.
True.
Yep.
Yes.
And that actually, they use that inside membrane that flesh, and guess what it's good for?
What?
The brain.
I just like
The
sucking
brain.
on them.
Yeah, they're beautiful. Yeah,
I mean,
they're beautiful.
I grew up with them as a kid. They were all yeah. Well, that's where I got my smarts.
Yeah.
Be.
Well, you see, if you cut them and you look inside of it, that whole thing does look like a brain.
True. True.
Because it is a membrane. It's what membrane, you know. So you look at an avocado, it takes 9 months, because side view it looks like a pregnant woman when you take the seed out, let the seed there. So that's 9 months from flower to fruit. So you can tell what that's good for.
Yeah, fertility.
Yeah. So all of them, every single piece of Mother Nature's given us it's for us. And that's what's
People love
coming.
where you live at, Jules. They're all just saying,
Beautiful.
we're all going to come to your property, and you know.
There's plenty of room. I've told the Andromeda 7 people, our crew, like I've gone, yep, you know, Karen's coming to come and dig up the gold, she reckons.
Yep.
Well, you know, Australia does have a lot of that, but it's just all the places I've seen gold it's really inhospitable. That's all I can say. But you know, y'all.
Well, the little town I live in, which is turning into a bigger place because everyone's moving here, because over the years being involved in the community so much, you get to know a lot of new people because they're artists and they're coming because they can sense the energy, because it used to have a terrible, not that I ever felt it, but it got a name for being Helltown for some reason, some stupid reason. Anyway, I didn't feel that. But everyone can feel it. And when they leave and come home, they know they're coming home. They can feel the energy because there's huge quartz. Wherever there's gold, the quartz holds the gold together. Where the quartz, it's the crystalline grid, the silicon, it's all the salts of the earth. We've got huge masses of quartz. So that's the transmitter and the receiver. And that's what we are. And that's what's being activated on earth, which is in heaven, which is us. We're everything. We're it.
So, Jill, I have to ask, do you have a lot of flies there?
As you speak, they're all over my feet.
I just had this weird feeling on my feet.
Yeah.
I mean, what the freak was that?
Funny.
Well, once summer comes, but depending on the season, sometimes we have different, you know, see the sun, everybody. They even spelt that wrong. SWSON or SUN. See the sun. That's you. But anyway, it changes because of whether we get the rain, when we get this, when we get that, whether there's enough of this, you know, like it changes. Like we had a night moth that come through and killed every citrus in the whole area. No one had citrus this year, but the fruit have come out because they still want to bear. So we've had some odd seasonal fruit because they still wanted to bear. So they created, after the moth killed them off, they still threw some fruit.
Yeah.
So you're just watching, and the mangoes are often a season of whether we're going to have cyclones, if they bear a lot. There's a lots in like the mock orange. When it comes out and blossoms, you know it's going to rain. You just got to watch
I love this.
Ants climbing up your wall. I leave them there. I don't kill any of them because they're telling you it's about to rain. And the higher they go, the more rain you're going to get. The same as we've had a wild scrub turkey coming up into our yard, and we hardly ever get the scrub turkey because there's obviously enough stuff, but they build up higher because it's going to rain. Same with snakes. When you see them on the move, you know it's coming to rain. You just watch nature. It tells
Do you
you
have
everything.
a lot of snakes, Jules?
I don't see a great lot. We did the
Okay.
frogs let me know when
Okay.
when got certain frogs on the veranda that live behind a tile,
Uh-huh.
and the tile says, if you love the life you live, you'll live the life you love. And the frogs are behind there, and when they make this certain sound, you know that there's a snake around because the snake's coming to get them. And I just go out and I'll hit the wall, or I'll, so
So
that
don't
I
tell me you have the brown snake there.
yeah, we do have brown snakes, but I don't see them too often around my place, because if you've got pythons, which are the carpet snake, they tend to, a lot of the other snakes don't come around so often. And
Did you say python?
yeah, python, yeah. They're a carpet snake. They're big.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I dig them as long as they don't dig my place. But all right, it's 11111 across the board. So, well, Jules, it's been far out. That's all I got to say. I have so enjoyed having you on, and
If we want to use a word that the control mechanism have as pharmacy, I look at it as pharmacy. So you see pharmacy.
I love that.
Because it's your
See?
farm. It's your farm.
Mm-hmm.
FARM, not the PHAR, because PH, I can go into that, but we're not going in there. But just look at it as you creating your world that you want to have. So see in the distance how beautiful it is.
I love this.
It's true.
Thank you, Wayne, again. Thank you,
Well,
Wayne.
thank you, my dear. It is us who have been endowed with favor with your presence and knowledge, Jules. I love the gnosis that you carry, and I love that you share it freely. And I, what better gift can you give to humanity?
We
Thank
all
you
have
for taking us in the garden with you, Julie Ann.
And we've got to get back to the garden. All right, folks, I'll put her YouTube channel in there. I saw Theresa do that earlier. Thank you, Theresa. Folks, really subscribe to Jules' channel. She, as you can see, the woman, you're a spirit being that has great, great wisdom. And I thank you for,
It's one of the voices of the earth.
yes.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
It's true.
Yeah.
I shared this with Theresa the other day. Astrology, I like to say I rise above all of those patterns, and so that you're not buying into it. So if they say this is happening, well, if you rise above it, you're not actually in it. You're just able to view it all. Anyway, I thought I'll go back and read my actual astrology chart that someone did for me for nothing, because they said I'll do it for you. And it says, I'm a wizard.
Yes. Well, absolutely.
Of course you are.
Doesn't surprise me.
Me either. Me
I
either.
thought, of all the things that I thought, oh, well, I'll buy into that story. Thank you very much.
I think it's an accurate description of, really. I think it's great. I see you as an alchemist, but I can also see you as a grand wizard. I mean, a great wizardress. I guess that would be the correct.
Well, I like to sometimes not put labels on anything, because then that actually can find. So it's just BM, just
Well,
radio.
you are magnetic in your essence, and you know how to
Thank-
communicate with the earth by feeling her, drawing her into you, putting her into your body. You're literally operating on the highest divine feminine frequencies that people could look at. For what does the divine feminine look like? Julie Ann.
Thank you. Just
It's
field
true.
it.
It's magnetic.
FWELD. It's your fieldings. You feel it. Don't,
Yeah.
feel it and be it. That's
I'd
all. Thank you
love
so
to come into the kitchen with you, Jules. We'll have to do when we all get together. We have to
Yeah.
have
Well,
a big kitchen. That's all I
Well,
know.
I'm about to go in, and I'll have to go in and get my husband's break the fast.
Break
Yeah.
fast.
Break the fast. Yep.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Soul Tribe. That's all I can say. Sometimes just saying thank you is the best to be said. So thank you, ladies. Jules, we'll have you back on. Miss Trina, love you, dear. Thank you, Soul Tribe out there. And we'll see everyone. Hello, Brenda. Good to see you, dear. We'll see everyone Friday night, I guess, on Andromeda 7, right? Oh, wow. Look at that. And then Saturday and Sundays over on the Soul Tribe. So Mr. Robert V hosting that one, and with Miss Trina. So all right, ladies, stay with me.